He actually, murdered a couple people. He was very, very violent. He, always liked to carry a knife. He was from the Appalachian Mountains in eastern Tennessee, and um, he only had a third grade education because he cut somebody when he was in the third grade and got kicked out of school. Um, but yeah, he was always known to, you know, he was psychotic, by nature. And
Hmm.
my mother actually met him while he was in prison. Now, my mother's background was completely different. She was upper middle class, raised in what was considered a stable household, went to all girls Catholic schools, but she had mental health issues to where she eventually got, after a couple teen pregnancies, she got, involved in a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, a lot of mental
Hmm.
illness, in and out of mental hospitals. So together they were like the dynamic duo. She was the uh, manipulative person, very selfish, kind of lots of issues herself, and she had the perfect weapon with him because he didn't really do too much thinking for herself, and she was able to manipulate him into doing anything she needed him to do.
Right.
So
Was he, John, was he incarcerated for like a lot of his adult life?
actually, I mean, he did pretty
Your
good for the
father?
crimes that he committed. It was only maybe 30 years of his life. uh, Back then, they gave out sentences like 1 to life. And
Right.
he was in Tennessee one time for one of the and back then they still had the chain gang and stuff like that. He got out of there and moved to Baltimore. His family had already migrated down there, so he ended up breaking the law in Maryland and going to prison there for, I believe, another 17 years there,
So
and
he
got
did some
let out.
hard time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was incarcerated. Like I said, most of his time was done from the between the 40s, between the 40s to the 70s. He got out. He got out the last time. The last time he did an actual prison sentence, he got out in 1969. He did a lot of county
Wow.
jail time after that. Street fights and cutting people here and there, but it was nothing. Nobody died, so it was all just county jail time from up until maybe 87. I think was the last time that he had been to jail. And
And without asking too much, and he had time to have a lot of kids? I mean, how many kids were in
no,
your
I
family?
mean, he really only had one. Now, my mother had time to have lots of kids.
Hmm.
She had seven, but one had died, and there's still six of us around. And but they all had different fathers, pretty much. We're still we're still Eddie will tell you this. We're still doing ancestry to find out who our fathers are. Because we're really not
Yeah.
sure. We kind of have a hat with a bunch
Eddie
of
probably
names in it.
loves that. He's probably in hog heaven
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
I
he's found out all kinds of interesting facts. I
I know
mean,
you're